Greetings, gentlemen and ladies, I am the old school game snob, and in today's video we are going to be crafting, questing for, and forging the mighty Runeword known as Insight. This is a powerful runeword for your mercenary. It gives you a meditation aura somewhere between level 12 and level 17 if you are lucky. It also enhances the damage of your weapon and makes your mercenary more viable. There are a variety of polearms to choose from early to mid to late game. If you don't really care too much about your mercenary's damage, you don't need to pay too much attention to the stats, and you can just get that Insight aura up and running to start. That's what I usually do, and then I refine my weapon selection later as I have more options to choose from. But from the early game, you would want something like a poleaxe or a vogue or a sai. In the mid game, something like a war sai. And then later game, something like a Colossus Vogue or Thresher or Giant Thresher, or even ideally like an ethereal Giant Thresher. For new players to Diablo Resurrected, if you do not know already, the items that you equip on your mercenary do not take durability damage. So if you equip ethereal items, which are considerably more powerful than their normal version, these are just optimal mercenary choices. Okay, so where to find your open 4-socket polearm base? Once you get into Nightmare difficulty, you will start to see them pop up quite frequently. I like the Frigid Highlands and the Shenk the Overseer run, as well as Eldritch the Rectifier and Pindleskin. You will find them pop up from these guys just quite frequently if you don't find them just naturally and normally during your Nightmare playthrough. If you do not find a 4-open socket polearm and you just find some white normal polearms instead, not cracked, not superior, but just the base item type polearms, there is a Heraldric Cube recipe that you can also try in order to roll 4 open sockets. Okay, now, if you are going to attempt the Heraldric Cube recipe, make sure that you attempt it on a polearm which has a open socket maximum potential of 4 sockets. Now, obviously, this wouldn't work on a Bardi, this wouldn't work on a Lochaber, I don't know how you say that, axe. This would work on a Halberd, and this would work on a poleaxe, or also a sai. You'll also see that the max potential open sockets for a Halberd in this case is 6. Performing the Heraldric Cube crafting recipe, you will roll on a 6-sided dice to determine how many sockets are put into an item. If you roll 1, you get 1. If you roll 3, you get 3. If you roll 6, you would get 6. That is, unless the maximum number of sockets happens to be 4. If the maximum number of sockets happened to be 4, then rolling 5 or 6 would give you the maximum possible sockets, which is 4, giving you effectively a 50% chance of rolling 4 sockets. Now, there is a further complication, and that has to do with the item level that you have found and where you found it in. So if you find your item in normal difficulty anywhere from Act 1 to 3, it's guaranteed to not be of a high enough item level to be able to roll 4 sockets. If you find your halberd or your polearm in the Secret Cow level or in Act 4 or above, then it can potentially be of a high enough item level to roll 4 open sockets. Now, I do not believe it is guaranteed to be of a high enough item level, but I believe it can potentially be of a high enough item level to roll 4 open sockets. So, items like your Bardiache, your Vogue, your sai, your poleaxe, your halberd, these are all normal quality items. They are not exceptional, they are not elite. So these found in Nightmare difficulty or higher levels of normal difficulty could potentially be of a higher item level, but you just don't really know. And there's no way to really know until you roll. Items like the War Sai, the Lochaber Axe, the Bill, the Battle Sai, the Partisan, the Becta Corbin, and the Grim Sai, these are exceptional items, and these will all absolutely be able to roll the maximum number of sockets that you see here. Items, of course, like the Ogre Axe and above, these are elite items which are found in Hell difficulty and can, of course, roll the maximum potential open sockets. So I would not recommend rolling the Heraldric Cube recipe on anything from Bardiache to Halberd unless you have amethysts and runes to burn. If you're rolling on the War Sai up to the Becta Corbin, then you are good. Probably the most logical roll here would be the Bill. I don't know if it's the best weapon choice, but you are most likely to get 4 open sockets with a 50% chance, since it has a maximum of 4 open sockets. Otherwise, your chances go down quite a bit. Now, once you have found your white base polearm item, make sure it is not cracked, make sure it is not superior. Ethereal is fine. And then you'll use Ral, you'll use and you'll use a perfect amethyst to hopefully roll a 4 open socket polearm. Ultimately, like I say, you're probably better just to find a naturally 4 open socket weapon in Nightmare. That's how I found all of mine. All of the other Heraldric Cube recipe stuff is kind of ring-a-me-roo in this particular case. It's good for shields, it's good for body armor, but for your weapon, you are dealing with a number of variables that ultimately end up taking more time than just finding the naturally open 4 socket weapon from a monster. That's my humble opinion. That's my advice. Alright, let's move on. And for those of you thinking to use Larzik to get your 4-socket polearm, just don't do it. It's just really easy to get a 4-socket open weapon dropping naturally, and you know, you save this for socketing like a unique or a set or something that's very difficult to socket, that can only be socketed with Larzik. So yeah, no, just don't do that. Let's move on. Let's get on to the rune finding part of this guide. So your one-stop rune shop is going to be Nightmare difficulty Countess runs. Countess can of course be found in the Black Marsh. If you've never done Countess runs before and you're new to Diablo Resurrected, you just teleport or run around until you find the Forgotten Tower. The Forgotten Tower looks like thus. Descend to the 5th level of the Forgotten Tower, find the Countess, and kill her. She has a guaranteed rune drop of all the runes that you'll be needing in order to create the Insight Runeword. I did exactly 1 hour of Countess runs and ended up with 48 runes, as you can see here. That gave me enough runes to craft the Insight Runeword 3 times over and almost a 4th time. You're finally ready to craft your Runeword. You need Ral, Tyr, Tal, and Soul. I'm going to craft 2 of them here, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give away the results to whoever jumps into the Discord first and messages me and says, hey, I'd like that Runeword, please. Head on to the description area in the link below, find the Discord to the Old School Game Snob channel, and yeah, just send me a message, and the first one to claims it. So here we go, level 12 Meditation Aura. That could be better. Now into the Grimsai. Let's see. Ral, Tyr, Tal, Soul. And what have we got? Level 14. Okay, so anyway, these 2 are up for giveaway. Whoever messages me first gets them. Oh, by the way, I also have some Crystal Spirit Swords to give away. I've got 4 of those in total. I'll give away the best one to whoever messages first. I have from 34% FCR down to 25% FCR. Again, just the same way as before, find me in the Discord. And yeah, I got to clear up some inventory space. So these are giveaways to subscribers of my channel. Alright.